And now it's time for the ridiculous.
What kinds of things make people piss?
Stan, how many suitors exactly has she dismissed?
Siri, what are some locations for a lover's tryst?
Oh, darling, surely there must be a list.
A list? You're telling me it's all here on this bleeding list? That's preposterous and ludicrous.
Well, actually, it's all quite
Ridiculous.
Welcome to The Ridiculous. I'm Sally Brooks.
And I'm Jen O'Neill, and we are back with a very special episode of The Ridiculous for you today.
This is so exciting. Yes, I do want to know why.
Why is it so special?
Fucking tell us, Jen.
I'm looking at his stupid face and I'm already laughing. It's my favorite person in the world and friend of the podcast, celebrity chef and cookbook author, just person extraordinaire.
Icon.
Human being.
Diva.
Icon. Dustin Harder is on the podcast today. Apparently he, as he says, stans us. We literally just Googled what that meant. It means he's a stalker fan of ours.
Which, accurate. Welcome, Dustin. You're allowed to talk now.
Now you can turn your microphone on.
I can talk now. Okay, good. Okay, good. We should tell everyone that also I didn't know what stan meant. Like I was using it, but I had no idea.
No, none of us did. I mean, we tried to deconstruct it and we couldn't figure it out, so we had to go to the Googles, and Jen rescued all of us. So
and it was correct though, because since I got into the ridiculous, I have been blowing up that DM like mad. Yeah. So I've been stalking.
Yeah,
literally every question. I'm like, let me tell them what I think about this.
Jen and I went to the Decatur Wine Festival on Saturday, and as we're at the festival, she was like, "Oh my god!" Like she just kept getting notifications from you, like, just
Dustin's
like responding.
He's on a roll
he
right
needs to
now.
calm down.
He's on a ridiculous bender. It's funny because we talk through Marco Polo, we talk through text message, then we have our Instagram, and it's just like I was just getting opinions coming out of every which way. I was just like.
I didn't keep it strictly to DM.
No,
I meant to keep it. Oh, well, I love you so much.
You Marco Polo.
You're welcome. You're welcome, and sure.
It was awesome. I love it. I love communicating with you, and I love talking to you about the podcast. So this is great.
It's an honor to be here. Sally, you look resplendent as usual. Jen, you look disgusting. So
I always look disgusting. I'm wearing my Steve Jobs. Actually, is it a Steve Jobs turtleneck or is it an Elizabeth Holmes? Is it her? Should I do her voice? Actually, I'd like to think that Elizabeth probably went back to her actual voice. Like it was like, once she was, found out and the mask was taken off on Theranos, I think she just went back to, talking like that.
Like, so whatever. I guess that blood thing did not pan out.
Now that we have you here on the podcast, I would like to know, like, what's your favorite thing about us? What do you love the most about me and Sally and our podcast? Just so that the other listeners know what they should love about us.
Truly, and I know I just love it. Like I love this podcast now, and I don't know if this was a serious question, but I'm telling you, from the last podcast to this podcast, the difference in this for me is that these lists give you both such an opportunity for us to like learn more about you, and in such a fun way. Like it's just it's very personality driven, whereas before, bless your hearts, the murder thing, you got to be talking about murder and all that stuff. It can be such a downer,
It was a real downer.
Yeah, and I feel so like I'm just proud of y'all for making the choice to like choose to create something for yourselves that's bringing you joy, right? Because then I feel like we all get to benefit from that. So I just love it. You just tossing joy out there, and I'm here.
Great answer. You're
welcome. That is a great answer.
Well, it helped that we went over to it before. Thank you for sending me the script so that I knew what to say.
Well,
I mean, I was
appreciate-
looking for like luminous skin, hot
I know.
bod, but okay,
You
that's
didn't
fine.
mention how pretty we are one time.
Well, I think I mentioned Sal. Actually, I should tell everyone. I said Jen was disgusting, but I probably tell Jen every time she gets on Marco Polo. I am like, "You're stunning and glorious and gorgeous and beautiful." It must be the lighting you're using. That must be it, because really, you're disgusting.
Whatever. Oh, today you mean?
No,
my lighting today.
Well, yes, you look gorgeous today, but I'm saying when we get on Marco Polo, like you're just like you're done. You look great. You always
She
look
always
fabulous.
looks great. I'm always
Whatever.
like,
I'm usually like coming back from hot yoga or on a walk, and I'm disgusting. But thank
no,
you.
you look
I was gonna say, take it, receive.
Yeah, take it. I feel the same. I'm like, I'm always like, right, like straight from the bed, glasses, hair crazy. I'm like, I'm gonna have to get. Now my little picture is going to be right next to Jen's picture. That's gonna be a bummer for me.
Whatever.
I haven't been watching. I'll have to watch to catch.
Gorgeous.
I'll have to
Actually-
watch to catch it all. Then I've been listening.
Speaking
Oh
of
no, I mean on Marco Polo.
Oh.
Jen and I, Marco Polo. I'm like,
whatever.
I like to watch Jen put her makeup on and do.
Well,
her
I
hair.
did enjoy you saying that you were getting makeup tips from watching her put her makeup on. Because that's
do.
truth. I've also gotten them. If I wore makeup, I'd be like, "Oh, Jen did this. I'll do that too." Okay.
Well, speaking of your gorgeousness, Dustin, we did get in last time you were on Dumb Love, the follow-up episode, we discussed how good looking you are and how from now on we're only going to have good looking people on the podcast. And it was a joke. I mean, obviously not the joke was that you're good looking. The joke was that we're only going to have good looking people on the podcast. It was a joke.
Mhm.
And we posted a clip of it and the backlash.
The backlash.
Backlash.
Some
We
real hurt
received
feelings over here.
from
Oh my!
the most disgusting toothless men saying horrific things. Well, they were just like, did they see themselves? Or are they kidding? I think we were called
Yeah.
a 5 and a 4
Yeah, at
Yeah.
best.
at best.
I am. That is awful.
It's like, we're obviously fucking kidding, and you don't have any teeth, dude.
Also, how
And,
do
like-
these people, like someone who chooses to make those comments, why are they listening in the first place? Where did they come from that they're listening to?
They're just on YouTube.
I don't know.
I don't think they're
YouTube.
listeners. It's
Ah.
YouTube is where.
Yeah.
Do you? You have stuff on YouTube.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've gotten.
It
some.
is
I
the
get what you're
worst
saying.
of the worst. Like it
It's
is
a
where all of the
cesspool.
trolls come out. I mean, it's such
Yeah.
a shame that it is also like where you can get the highest
Yeah.
views of whatever. But oh man, I stopped posting because we were just getting like I don't know if men get it as
Yeah.
much, but like women comedian people are vicious. Vicious.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I don't think I need this in my life.
You definitely don't. You definitely don't. That's so. There's someone on. Now that you mentioned that it's YouTube, there is someone on my YouTube because I'll post the podcast on the Vegan Roadie YouTube, and there's someone every time I post an episode of my podcast, they'll like give their conscious stream of thought. When they'll be like, oh, and at marker 2343, I once had some tofu too, and it tasted really good. And then I decided to put it in the oven and I baked it. It was a lot better too. I put some salt and pepper on it. It was lovely. And then I had a little pasta too the other day. And then I put some peanut butter on a spoon and I ate that. It was delicious. And I'm like, why are you telling me all of these things right now?
That's so funny. I just posted like a joke on Facebook, which frankly I thought should have gotten way more likes and
It's very
ha-has.
funny.
But I was talking about how like Pinterest recipe reviews are like, like this recipe was amazing, but I didn't have carrot, so I used grapes instead, and I substituted the whatever for the this, and then I made a key lime pie instead. We'll make again. And it's like people just make, if you read recipe reviews, they're hilarious because people just, and I know that we've talked about this, Dustin, because people have done it to you a million times, where it's like these perfectly crafted, beautiful recipes that you take so much time to make perfect, down to the quarter of a teaspoon of pepper or a half a teaspoon. Like that, it's so intricate what goes into a recipe, and then someone reviews it and is like, well, I substituted this for this and I didn't have this, so I used this instead, but it was okay. And it's like, well, you didn't make the recipe. Like you can't comment on the recipe if you didn't actually make it.
Sometimes
and
it's
also-
so wild. Yeah.
Just don't comment. Like you don't have
Just
to
don't
comment.
comment.
You
Yeah.
don't
Like,
have
what's-
to.
Yeah.
What's the funniest comment that you've gotten, Dustin? Like,
I don't know about specifics, but on those lines, they'll sub it out with the most random things. Like they'll say the things, they'll be like, I didn't have any soy milk, so I subbed it out with lima beans and it was terrible. And I'm like, like that's not even in the world. Like, where'd you go?
I know.
While we're on this subject, let's like very quickly tell people, Dustin, let's talk about like what you have going on, what you've done, where people can find you. We'll give like your like Instagram and social media, but like let's talk about your podcast and your cookbooks and all the cool stuff you've done.
Oh, you're the best. You're the best. The thing that's out the most right now is my podcast. It's called Keep On Cookin'. And it celebrates plant-based cookbooks and their authors. So I get lots of cool authors on. I do interviews with them. We go through the whole cookbook. So they give a behind-the-scenes look at, why they wrote a certain recipe, or if it's been in their family for years, if they veganized something that they've always loved. And we go through every chapter. So they get to talk about their favorites. They get to talk about the easiest ones. They get to talk about the ones that you could take to a party that's going to impress everyone, all that sort of stuff. So it really is a fun look, a different look from the author's perspective at a cookbook. So if there's one you love and the author's on, you get to learn more about it, or you get to learn more about one you don't know about yet. And then maybe you're filling up your Amazon cart before you know it.
I love it. I love it so much. I'm not vegan and I still love it despite your veganness.
Yeah, girl.
And I love it because I love reading cookbooks. Like I love like going through and thinking about, I don't actually cook that much, but like being like, ooh, what if I did cook this? And then like, flipping through and looking at the pictures, and I love that, like that extra layer of getting the story behind the recipe and like, how you and I, we had an interaction where we both realized that we worked at Bennigan's, and then you were like, oh my gosh, you're like, I veganized was it the broccoli cheddar soup?
The loaded baked potato soup.
Oh, the loaded baked potato soup, which is
in my second book, Epic Vegan, available everywhere books are sold, and I serve it in a pretzel bowl, mama. Also,
that's the only way Bennigan's would do it.
Come on. We should also note that interaction took place on a DM with you when I was listening to The Ridiculous. And I was like, wait a minute. Sally, me too.
Yep.
Also, the movie Shag. We both were fans of the movie Shag.
Right.
Yes.
You're the only person I've met in like recent years who knows the movie Shag, and it makes me so happy.
French twist or bubble flip.
I know. I love it so much. So yeah, we can listen to
I'm going to
Dustin's
be honest.
Podcast.
When I tell you that your friendship, I find to be upsetting and intimidating, and I don't like it.
Dustin and I's friendship.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm threatened. I don't like it.
Maybe you should watch. You should watch the movie Shag. Is all I'm saying.
All right, fine.
Then maybe we'll let you into the club.
Yeah, I'll talk Shag with you any day.
Go pull a shift at Bennigan's, and then maybe we can talk about it. Though I think they're all closed now.
I'm the Monterella's Cafe.
La da.
IHOP before.
We can't all work at Urban Outfitters, Jen.
I worked lots of stupid restaurants.
Or at that boutique in Soho.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I did work at a cool boutique in Soho.
You did.
Yeah.
I have a question that goes back to a couple episodes ago.
Okay, sure.
Not to draw this out, but not to be stalking as I am. But y'all talked about wearing your clothes or not wearing your clothes when you get a massage.
Okay, yeah, I'd love to hear.
Yes.
So Jen,
I have a feeling you're a nude guy.
My question is, when we got a massage together, then were you nude or not nude?
I had underwear on, but I was topless.
Oh, I was full on nothing. Right next to you.
I think I knew that.
Okay. But you were topless, so
I could feel it. Yeah.
I've heard that a lot when I'm across the room. I mean, we were like 2 feet away from each other. But as you were telling the story, I was like, wait, so did I just get full on naked and she still had her underwear on?
Yeah, I had my underwear on, but I was topless.
Okay.
But then
I am a naked guy.
It was all moot because then we were just doused with freezing cold water for
I mean, Oh my god!
I
But then
still can't remember why that happened exactly, but it did.
the tanning story that you gave, where you did get fully nude. I don't mean to make this a greatest hits of the ridiculous, but I'm
Hey,
just
we love it.
saying. I'm just saying. That was big laughs for me.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
yeah.
Do you ever get a spray tan?
No,
Okay, I don't know.
that scares
Just
me. Was it
naturally tan.
orange?
No, it was like a nice place, and it was
Okay.
expensive. It was expensive, and it was nice. And I got to. Did it before a vacation, and I got to. It lasted like 3 days. I will never do it again.
How
And that's not
expensive
just
was that for
because
3
my
days?
V was right in someone's face.
I mean, when you went back and told your friend, and your friend was like, "You got naked?" It's like that is everything.
Fuck. Yeah.
And you're like, "Oopsie."
The woman was like, "Oh, great."
No, but I have heard other people tell me that like they have gotten spray tans.
Sure, okay.
Fully naked before.
Totally okay. Sure.
Well, you don't want
That
tan
needs to be a
lines.
poll. Friends of listeners, I need you to call it or like text us or something. Like if you've gotten a naked spray tan before, fully nude.
I will give everyone
spray tan.
your number and your Instagram so you can get a hold of Jen all the ways that I do.
They know my Instagram.
Get it.
Okay. Well, I feel like we've talked enough about my nudity and outfit choices.
All right, should we get to our
And-
lists?
Yeah. Okay. Yes, let's do it.
All right, to the list.
To the list.
Ridiculous.
Should I go first? Should you go first? I can see you guys now. Oh, you look cute.
Look at that.
Who went first last time? You did, I think.
I think I did, yeah.
Okay.
What sort
so
of
I
my
guess-
favorite murder bullshit is this?
We cut this
Sorry.
part out.
Yeah.
Who went last? Well, you're gonna cut it out. I just had a good joke.
All right,
Jen's
we'll
like,
keep it in.
define good.
So, I'm going first this week. And in the spirit of having a celebrity chef extraordinaire on the podcast, we thought we would do some food related stuff. So my listicle came from an article for let me say that again. SoYummy.com.
Soy yummy. It's
Yummy.
very
Like,
Australian.
There's only
So
one
yummy.
Y.
There's some do's and don'ts here.
Oh no. So yummy.com by Tiana Rogers. And it is the 17 most hilarious reviews we've ever seen on Yelp.
Yes.
Great.
Love it.
And some of these made me giggle. I didn't read them all, but some of them that I read made me
This
laugh. real
also
hard.
checks out with the what we were talking about with comments earlier a little
Recipe
bit too. I think
comments,
because
yeah.
some people
Mhm.
really go in on some reviews, and I'm like, you could have just not said anything. This is invalid, even.
Yeah. This person, Ross F. from Brooklyn, New York, wrote, the entire kitchen staff saw an ice cream truck. Oh, they gave 1 star and said, the entire kitchen staff and wait staff saw an ice cream truck and ran outside, leaving me alone in the restaurant. 10 minutes later, they all came back with ice cream cones. I still can't believe this actually happened. That's the most Brooklyn shit I've ever heard, right?
That is the most Brooklyn shit. Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
that's amazing.
Does it
I
say it
love
was
it
in
so
Brooklyn?
much.
Is that for real?
Yeah, from Brooklyn, New York. Yeah.
And probably
That
nobody
is-
apologized to him when they came in either. They were
I know.
like, "Bro, you didn't go get yourself some ice cream?
Yeah,
what?
they're
The-
like-
the truck's there."
Well, you're the
So
dick for coming
funny.
into our restaurant.
Wow.
That's great.
Okay, this next one. This one is just ridiculous. You could tell this guy was just being stupid, but it made me laugh really hard. This was by Kurt C. from San Antonio, Texas. Reviewed a place and said, give 1 star. Such an awful place. They won't deliver to San Antonio. The pizza was too flat. They wouldn't accept cheeseburgers as a topping. They wouldn't accept my currency that I made up. Kurt coins.
Oh, it's not done.
Kurt coins. Yeah, no, they aren't. There aren't nearly enough toilets to accommodate a football team. I asked for a full body massage, and they gave me pizza.
This
Why
is not
would they
real.
I know it's not. Why won't they let me bring my pet mongoose in? They don't even have mongoose chow for my pet. When I got the pizza to go, they put it in this flat horizontal box that was too wide. I held it vertically and the thing got all messed up. It's their fault that gravity on this planet is too strong for my pizza. I know that's stupid. It's just dumb. Obviously he's fucking around, but it made me
I
laugh.
loved when I thought it was real and they said the pizza is too flat.
Yeah. You know what that reminds me of? I think we talked about this on Dumb Love, but there's an artist that makes these posters of national parks. I can't remember the artist's name, and they review and they use actual Yelp review quotes on the posters, like Grand Canyon, just a big hole. Or or another park that was like, there's nothing here but water and rocks, just like, it's so funny. If I could, I would like fill my whole house with these posters.
That's hysterical.
This one says from Huck T from Monterey Park, California, gave a restaurant a 1 star and said, took a first date here because I really wanted it to be the last date. Unfortunately, the food came out delicious and very fresh tasting. They were not rude to my date at all, which pissed me off because I was totally banking on that shit. Worst of all, they don't make curry pizzas. What type of establishment doesn't serve curry pizza? Seriously, get with the times. Obviously, a stupid fake one, but it's pretty funny. This one is pretty funny. This was from Christine W. of Corona, California, said, 1 star. My experience at this restaurant lasted about 2 seconds. I went in and asked them if they have meatballs, and the waiter smirked at me and yelled, "You can meet these balls," and proceeded to flipping the table in front of him. 1 star because I never got to meet those balls. This place doesn't deliver on what they offer. Oh my God. Funny all around. She is funny. God. He is funny. The whole thing's funny.
The whole thing's funny. I love that. I love that it's like, it's like you have to take the chance. When somebody like serves you up a softball, like, do you serve meatballs? Like, I mean, what else are you going to say?
Well, now I'm going to say that.
Said that if I went into a restaurant and said that and the guy said that back to me and flipped the table upside down, I would die. That would be the greatest thing that ever happened to me.
He flipped a table, or like
you can flip these balls.
Wow.
He must. I'm hoping he's the owner.
Amazing.
I'm hoping he's okay.
Or just a guy that doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
This is a nice review. That's funny. This is by Raphael D of Brooklyn, New York. Said he was reviewing a Popeyes. And he gave it 5 stars and said, when all the cards are down and hope lost and all self-dignity robbed barren and not a cent left to pay for 1 square of rent, you, the Poseidon of fast food poultry, emerge from the deep fried depths of the hot sauce ocean atop a $5 hydra of drumsticks and batter to rescue those who cannot rescue themselves. Self-loathing, thy name is Popeye's Chicken and Biscuit.
Yeah, sometimes the 5 stars will suffice is all I'm saying.
I used to always joke that like, oh my God, people in Yelp reviews are ridiculous. And like, they just want to be like discovered as the next best food critic or writer. You know what I mean? But like in this case, I would have read that and been like, you're hired.
You're getting a book deal. It's done.
Yeah. When can you start?
When can you start?
Ben and I always, like when we lived in Cincinnati, we would pass a Popeye's chicken like very often. It was like right by our house. And we would play what we like to call as Popeye's chicken. So like basically one of us would suggest, oh, should we just go to Popeyes? And then the other one had to be like, it's like whoever broke first be like, no, actually I don't want Popeyes. And we'd be like, yeah, totally. We should get Popeyes. How about Popeyes? And it was like, we kept like one-upping each other until somebody broke and was like, no, we can't get Popeyes.
Did you ever get Popeyes? Did
No,
you guys
I don't
ever
think we
call
ever
each other's
did.
bluff? Oh.
No. Is it good? I don't know. It doesn't seem good. It was also attached to a gas station.
I don't think I've ever had it.
It was like gas.
I'm not a
I
big
might have had
gas station
a
guy.
biscuit from there back in the day. I think I've had it back in the day before I was vegan.
Mm. Yeah, I guess you
Um,
can't eat biscuits from Popeye.
Yeah.
You
Not
probably
from-
can't eat anything from Popeye.
Not from Yeah, I don't think so. I'm okay
Well,
with
you
that.
know, it
I'm okay
could
with
be
that.
a lot of really, poorly made food. This is not a knock on Popeyes. I don't know anything about Popeyes, but
Mhm.
I'm just saying, in certain cases, food that's like so poorly made or with just chemicals are accidentally vegan. Like
There goes your sponsorship.
crescent
No,
rolls.
Jen,
I don't know anything.
we live in
about Popeyes.
fucking Atlanta. Popeyes
I don't know how they
could
make it.
sponsor us.
I don't know how they make their biscuits, but I'm just saying, like, there are biscuits, like crescent rolls in a can. Those are vegan because it's not actual butter.
Wait, are you
And,
saying that? I'm sorry. Are you saying crescent rolls are poorly made?
Yeah, it's not real butter.
Have you
It's
eaten
fake.
them? They're so good.
I don't know
No,
if a
but my
crescent
son
roll
eats
is.
them like crazy.
No, I'm curious.
Just saying,
Oh,
it is vegan. It's vegan. Trust.
I mean, you wrap that shit around.
Cinnamon
anything
rolls
and
are
it's
vegan.
Delicious.
Cinnamon rolls in a tube, vegan.
Mm.
They are. I swear
It's
to
like-
God, Dustin.
Like
I
Oreos,
make them
right?
for my children.
You're talking
They're so
Pillsbury, right?
shitty, I
The
feed them
only
too
thing.
much.
Oh no, pre-made crescent rolls are vegan.
See?
But now, I don't need to do
And
a whole
then
fact check on this.
The
I believe
cinnamon
you there.
rolls
Good.
are also vegan.
Also, the pizza crust. I know that one.
Okay. Cool.
Look at that.
Yeah.
I
all
mean,
right.
What's
I guess
for
I
dinner?
do
So-
eat vegan sometimes.
Didn't
This
even know.
one
There you go.
from Joe G from Brooklyn, New York. Most of these guys are from Brooklyn. I'm just saying.
Brooklyn.
Well, what does that say about Brooklyn? They got a lot to say. Big reviewers in
do.
Brooklyn. We got big reviewers in Brooklyn.
They are.
Lots of opinions.
This says, I
Look at
love
Bobby
white.
with the big review.
This one says, I love WCBs, which are, I guess, White Castle burgers. I
Oh.
think they're freaking amazing, and so does my friend Justin. I introduced him to the joy and eventual pain that they can bring. He wrote this poem for the WCB. Oh, castle with walls of white, your magic brings my mouth delight. The product of your food perfection gives my taste bud erection. Gives me a taste bud erection, sorry. I won't
It's
think
yummy.
about the impending shit that can't be avoided when the burgers hit, but they feel so good going down, and there's not a better deal in town. Divide my money by 0.51. That's how many I'll take on this run. And someone tell Harold and Kumar that I'd travel just as far for a bite of that 2.5-inch square that meat melts in my mouth, as do my cares. Give me a sack, give me a case,
Jesus
give me a
Christ.
Sprite. Get me to the White Castle so my tongue can masturbate.
Oh, God.
Wow.
You know what? I was
Yeah.
with him. I was like, oh, it's going to be a cute little
Yeah.
like limerick. And then it just kept going. And I started feeling like, wrap it up.
Yeah.
Again, very, very Brooklyn. How many stars did this person give? 5?
5, yes. Okay.
I was going to say, you don't go
I was
writing
looking
a
at a
poem
different
like that.
I was at a different one, yeah.
Boom, 2 stars.
I mean, that was a song. That was a country song.
Okay, I'll read some
That was
other
like the day
ones
the
that
music
are
died.
faster. I know. Bye, Miss American Pie. This one, I'll just read some like shorter ones that aren't a sonnet. This one says from Christina J of the Upper East Side, Manhattan, New York. Said
Mark.
part 1. So she's, I guess, doing her reviews in parts. Part 1. 1 star. The experience started after a long rainy drive in the dark roads of the Medwood Estates. After getting lost, we finally arrived at the restaurant. We ended up waiting for our table for 45 minutes. Actually, we are still waiting. So she wrote this review as she was waiting for her table.
I mean, it's
Wow.
not a bad way to get sat.
Yeah.
Like, somebody's going to see that.
Yeah, right?
Assman Z of Seattle, Washington, reviewed something and gave it a 1 star and said, "You might as well just shit in a cup and mix in some M&Ms. You wouldn't know the difference." Ew, that's disgusting. This
That's
one,
nasty.
Maggie L of Brooklyn, New York, said, "Dear Thomas Keller." Do you know who that is?
Who, me?
Yeah, did you live in Brooklyn when you were there? You
But
lived in
once
New York
upon-
for
I
like
lived
20
in
years, right?
Queens and
Queens.
Brooklyn, and also
Okay.
But I
Do you
think
know
Brooklyn
Thomas
was my
Keller?
shortest. It sounds familiar for some reason, but
Okay.
maybe I'm just saying that because I don't want to feel dumb right now.
But
So I'm
she
Googling.
gave
Go for it.
Google, please Google. She gave it 1 star and
Oh.
said, "Dear Thomas Keller, when you charge an extra $100 for the veal lamb shank, I don't remember which one because my husband ordered it. It shouldn't be the size of a cat shank." Ew.
I don't like that imagery at all.
I
Well,
don't like
so-
it either.
I
Thomas
might be on
Keller
her
is a
side.
chef.
Oh, okay.
He's a chef. Okay.
Yeah. First of all, I don't think anybody should be charging $100 for anything. And if you saw that price before you ordered it, I don't think anyone should be paying $100 for anything.
Yeah,
too.
blame your husband who ordered it, dummy.
Yeah.
Here's a review of Taco Bell. Thomas C. of Mineola, New York, gave Taco Bell 5 stars and said, "After God created the heavens and earth, separated the seas and skies, gathered the water, and grew the vegetation, on the 7th day he rested. What the Bible's authors failed to document was that on that day, an overwhelming hunger manifested in him, capital HIM, one
Thank
that
you.
could not be satisfied with only vegetation he had created. So after resting on the 7th day, lo and behold, the glories of the Crunchwrap, the luxurious hybrid Mexican pizza, incendiary volcano tacos, and their mystery chili sauce, the unforgettable and unchallenged hot sauce packets, and thou shalt enjoy Taco Bell and other Tex-Mex institutions are overrun by real Mexican cuisine." What? That kind of took a weird turn. But
I'm sorry, I was asleep.
I mean,
fell
yeah.
asleep.
Wake
I was-
up. Wake
yeah,
up.
too much.
Was that another 5 stars? Was that 5 stars?
That was a 5-star.
So again, sometimes 5
Yeah.
stars will do it, bud.
I think you should run like a webinar
On writing appropriate
called-
reviews.
yeah, and the
How to
title
write
of
a
your
Yelp review.
5 stars will do it, bud.
Yep. That's
Yeah.
I also, where do people find time to write reviews like this? Because when I give a review of a restaurant, and maybe I'm terrible, but I'll do the 5 stars if I love it, and then I'll put like A+ will absolutely dine here again. Like that's basically, unless I had a dish that like where I'm totally like, also I had
Yes.
this thing and you have to try it.
Yes.
That might be one. But like I'm not waxing poetic about like I got the time.
Okay, I'm going to read one last one, and it's from Tyler B. and from Las Vegas, Nevada. 1
Mhm.
star. It says, "Started good and went downhill from there. I opted for the chef's tasting menu. The initial dishes of salmon tartare." Did I say salmon?
You did say
Salmon.
salmon.
The
Salmon
initial dishes
tartare.
of salmon tartare of a caviar and seafood parfait was excellent and full of flavor. Then everything went downhill. Dish after dish of bland, nearly flavorless food. The salmon and peas tasted more like not quite right peas than the large piece of fish that it surrounded. The lobster was extremely tough and took a lot of work to cut through. The foie gras had a stringiness that I did not think was possible. Also hard to cut through. Another thing I didn't think was possible. The final dish included a piece of Wagyu beef that was both the saltiest, toughest, and most overpriced piece of Wagyu I ever experienced. The desserts were boring. The coffee dish tasted nothing like coffee, and it had a bizarre, grainy texture. The alcohol markups are the highest I've ever seen for a restaurant. It makes Las Vegas look cheap. The coffee and sparkling water were an additional charge of $7 for a mediocre cappuccino and $9 for 1 liter of Pellegrino, and gratuity wasn't included in the price. Checking over reviews for the past week, there seems to be a similar sentiment. On the plus side, they gave me a copy of New York City Zagat 2016 so I can find a place where I should have gone instead. That's pretty
Well, so
funny.
I will say, is this 1 star?
1 star, yeah.
After I just had my rant about long reviews, not that I fully appreciate that one. I do like if someone gives a negative review, I do want specifics. Why are you giving 1 star? 1 stars, everyone
Yes.
listening, 1 stars do terrible things for businesses. So if
Yeah.
you're going to give 1 star, that owner will potentially read it. Let them know why you're giving the 1 star so they can work on it. I don't know if all of that was constructive necessarily, but kudos for some details.
Here's my conundrum, if you will, with Yelp reviews.
Mhm.
I hate them. I think that people that write Yelp reviews are weird and crazy and have nothing better to do with their time. Yet I will not eat at a restaurant without reading at least 10 reviews.
That is the thing, right? Because I'm like,
I hate them, but I need them.
right, I need to know.
That's not what I expected. Great.
Ew, what's a girl to do? I just don't
How
know.
funny.
I need them, but I don't like them.
Now, are you both? Do you review restaurants on Google or
I've
Yelp or
never.
anything like that?
I mean, unless I've given a 5-star review, I've never given a poor review of something. Actually,
no, never.
I did give a poor review once, and it was the people that I bought my wedding dress from because it was such a shit show. They ordered my dress 2 sizes too small and then told me that I must have gained weight. And they were like, that happens when you get engaged. You know, you eat what your husband eats, so you tend to gain weight. And I was like, I haven't gained any weight. This is 2 sizes smaller than I normally wear. They wouldn't let me return it. They wouldn't alter it they wouldn't give me free alterations, nothing. They wouldn't give me a store credit, nothing. I just had to I left the store crying, holding my wedding dress.
I just had to lose weight.
Yeah. And I did. I starved myself into the wedding dress. I was able to find somebody to take an inch on each side out because it was all lace. It was a total lace dress. They took an inch on each side. So I did get it. I basically had to starve myself into a size smaller. But
justifiable bad review then. That is where it's justified. That's terrible customer service that people need to know about.
They don't even exist anymore, but it was Lorraine's Bridal in the Virginia Highlands.
So you put them out of business, is what you're saying.
That place. Yeah.
I actually went there to try on a wedding dress when I was trying on wedding dresses because my mom lived in Clemson. And so right after I got engaged, I was living in Ohio, but I came down to visit her and she was like, let's go to Atlanta for the weekend and we'll try on wedding dresses. And we went there.
Were they
Remember
nice
how your
or
experience
rude?
was?
I don't remember it being a great experience. I didn't buy a wedding dress there, so
good.
Memorable. 1 star.
1 star.
Yeah, look at that.
No,
ladies, if you need to buy wedding dresses, sorry, I just want to give a quick plug to. We joke that we're cousin-in-laws. We're in no way related at all, but it's the cousin of my sister-in-law. Her name's Gabby. She owns The Sentimentalist, and it's a beautiful bridal store. So if you ever are in the market, anyone listening for wedding dresses in Atlanta, go to The Sentimentalist instead.
All right.
I love that. 5 stars.
5 stars.
I'm going to start rating conversations as I'm having them.
Or just if you're at a party and not enjoying yourself with the person you're talking, just be like 1
3
star
stars.
and walk away.
This conversation is about a 3 right now, and I'm going to stay for 1 more minute unless it gets to a 5. I'm walking.
Yeah.
away.
No pressure, but kick it up a notch.
Would not recommend.
I think you shouldn't give a 1-star review unless you've tried to address it with the business.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Fully agree with that. Yes.
And even if you can't, sometimes I don't think you should, especially small businesses.
Just take it all into consideration. Look around. What's the atmosphere? What's going on that day? Is it the worst day ever? Is the restaurant incredibly busy and they're doing their best, Tom?
Yeah.
If they are, then have some consideration for it.
Yeah, totally agree. All right, Tom. Okay, well, I think that was a great list, Jen. And I also have a food-related list. I know, Dustin, that you have had lots of jobs in your career as a chef, cookbook author. You've been a private chef, right? You've done recipe. What is it called? Recipe development.
Yeah.
That's all I could think of was recipe tasting, and I was like, "No, that's not."
Sure, that too.
No,
also,
that's
what
what
else
I
have you
did.
done? That's what you did.
I tasted it. Yeah.
Yes.
And so my list today is from Thrillist.com. It was compiled by Julianne Fetter, and this is the craziest stories from private chefs.
Oh, when I heard you just say private chef, I was like, please go there. Please go there. I can't wait.
And I'm hoping that maybe you have some good ones too. Dustin, are you on TikTok at all?
I mean, there's an account.
But I mean, you're not like a person who goes on TikTok and watches TikToks.
I sometimes, but it's not my go-to. Instagram mostly. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I've gotten like, I now am like the person who's like, oh, I saw on TikTok, I learned this on TikTok. But this summer, my TikTok was like, it was exclusively private chefs in the Hamptons who were like private chefs for billionaires. That's like a genre of TikTok.
Yeah.
That was one. And then the other one is like people who work in fire towers for the National Park Service, and they like watch out for fires, and just like, it's just like pretty, just
that
like
was your
showing
FYP,
the views.
huh?
That's my FYP.
Yeah.
That's all I watch. And
I love
people
that.
doing watercolors.
Well, that's relaxing.
It's very relaxing. I enjoy it.
That's nice. I somehow got on the I don't know. Like I said, I've like Instagram is always just sending me stupid relationship memes and like tell it like it is. And like explaining to me why I have anxious attachment style.
Why?
Wow.
Explaining to me that I have anxious attachment style.
You're like, I know, thank you so much.
It's like,
but like,
don't leave me
like
though,
me?
but don't leave me.
Have you all seen y'all have seen Britney Spears with the knives, right?
Yeah. Let her do it.
Sally. Oh, I need to send this to you. So basically she's dancing with two chef's knives, right? But then a private chef did a video with it where she was acting like she needed her knives back, and Britney had them in the other room, and it was like hysterical.
That's so funny.
A little private chef tidbit before we get going there.
I love it. Okay, so this first one is dinner and a show. This chef says, I occasionally cook for this young bombshell celebrity in her house in the Dunes area of the Hamptons. Sorry, I can't say who. Well, while my staff and I were in the kitchen preparing dinner, she and her partner proceeded to have sex on the patio right in front of the whole staff. I mean, full on nudity. Full on nudity. Full on nudity while we were cooking in the kitchen. And let me just say, she was loud. Eventually it was over and we just kept on cooking.
Wow.
That's one for you.
That's the name of your podcast. Keep it cooking.
Which I often record naked and or while I'm having sex. So there you go.
That makes sense.
Perfect. Wow.
Let me ask you a question. Are either of you surprised by that story at all? Like that someone would actually do? It's amazing to me, these things that happen just in front of, like, you become invisible to them, basically. And it's a sort of a really gross energy to be around.
Right, where you're just like part of you're like another appliance.
You're
like,
yeah, totally.
You're very much the help. Yeah,
yep.
that's oof. I don't like that.
But that goes above and beyond. Like, you're banging in front of your staff. Like, what are you doing?
That's just somebody who is an exhibitionist.
Wouldn't that be considered like assault?
I mean,
sexual, like in a way, like
I mean, or harassment for sure.
Yeah, harassment. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And who's the HR department you take that to?
I don't know.
Right.
Felicia, Brittany's assistant.
Oh, Felicia.
Okay.
So the next one is, this woman hired me for a party. She said, I hope you like dogs because I rescue them. When I arrived at her property, I discovered that she hadn't just rescued a few dogs. She had rescued 200. The dogs were everywhere. When I kindly asked her to keep them in one place so we could safely and hygienically prepare the meal, she started yelling at me and my team, accusing us of being horrible people who didn't like animals. I love dogs, but 2 of them roaming around like wild creatures was too much. This was my first and last time working for her.
That's insane. I love dogs too. I love dogs, and Dustin, you do too.
Love them. 1 star. 1 star.
1 star.
That's a
200
client.
dogs.
That's a client negative star. Even 200 dogs. You have to have a kennel license to do that business, lady.
I mean, that's got to be a person. I imagine this is a person who that's like old money, right? Like that's like a crazy like Grey Gardens kind of shit, right? Where it's
Yeah,
Da-da-da-da.
probably. Yeah.
because you can't have people coming over to your house. Can you imagine going to somebody's house and they have 200 dogs?
No, I'll tell you, I when we were filming, so listeners, I have a series called The Vegan Roadie that I did. It's like a plant-based version of Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. But on season two,
Awesome.
we were thanks, Jen. Season 2, we were on tour filming, and we worked with this company called we worked with a company, and they had volunteers who did these different activities in their cities with different groups and everything. And they were like, oh, this one person reached out. They were like, if you need a place to stay, you can come stay at our place. So I was like, wow, let's save some money. Why not?
Yeah.
So the cameraman and I show up. And she's like, I'm not there, but the door's open. Just know that the dogs are up, but they're all friendly. But one of them is like, giving me details on dogs. I was like, okay. I walk in, there's like 6 dogs. And the setup was not cute for us. Like in one room, it was like an old mattress on a floor. And like there was dog poop in like different corners and everything. And I looked at the camera person goes, and I was like, it's cool. We're not staying here. Don't worry. And we started walking out. And this one dog, I swear I looked back and this dog was like, it's too late for me, but save yourself. Like,
Oh my God.
the face of this dog was like, I get it. She's got too many, dude, but you can still get out of here.
My
Oh,
God.
man.
We fled the scene. Fled the scene.
Jen,
Good
do you,
for
I
you.
mean, Dustin, you telling that story was just like brought back so many times. I have like done shows where the showrunner's like, oh, we don't put people up, but like you can sleep in my couch. And then you get there and you're just like, oh,
Yeah.
everything is itchy. There's like, they smoke inside and there's like 5 animals. And you're like, is this the life I want? Is this?
Yeah. I've
Oh yeah.
definitely like found myself a Red Roof Inn in the middle of the night because I couldn't handle whoever was putting me up and all their animals. It was
It's
just
a
too
hard
much.
rule now. I'm not
Yeah.
staying with anybody. I don't care if I love you, because at the end,
Yeah.
like if I've met the person and I love them, even at the end of the day, I want my own space. Also, if I do love you, I don't want to have a reason not to love you. Maybe I don't need to stay in your house. Like that's, you know what I mean? Like
Right.
I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah. And isn't what I find so crazy is that it's the people who are the most like, yeah, you can crash on my couch are like the people, it's like the do have itchy houses. Like my house is, I have like a grown up house and I still am like, oh, I don't know is it clean enough for people to come? Like I have to do everything, like light candles and put flowers in vases. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, basically those people are not set up to receive guests. Those people are the
No.
one that are always like, please, the more the merrier. Come on. We don't have beds, but you can sleep here. It's fine. It's fine. I guess you're going to want pillows. Oh, but no sheets. Okay. Like, it's like,
yes. We so when Ben and I and my friend Aaron, all of our friends, when we threw out the Appalachian Trail, there was once, and I read about this in my book, but this woman, we were like in a town and there was like a place that you could camp out in this field. And we were like, ugh, it's going to be kind of a bummer to have to like we're eating out dinner and we're like all drunk and to have to go set up our tents. So we are chatting to this bartender and she's like, actually, you guys can come sleep at my house. And so we were like, great. And she's like, well, whenever you're done, whenever you're ready to come back, here's my address and I'll see you there. So we get to her house. It's like late night. And she and Ben and I are like outside, like kind of, smooching and stuff. And she comes
Slut.
out. She comes out and she is like, hey, oh, good. I'm glad you guys made it. Like, I'm going to go across the street to my neighbors, but go on. You can sleep anywhere except for in the bedroom at the end because my 6-year-old is in there. And we were
Oh
like,
my God.
I'm sorry, what? And then she left and didn't come back. And she let like 6 20-year-old hikers. It was 2 women and like 4 dudes just sleep in this house with her child. And her child didn't know we were there.
Crazy.
Nobody else knew there was a child there. Isn't that nuts?
That
That's
is nuts.
nuts.
And I have may I tangent one more story
Yes,
on
please.
this?
Yes, please.
Oh
Yes,
my
please.
gosh, I'm sorry. So on that same tour, we had another person before that person who said, you can come stay at our home. Come stay at home. We show up, there's a 5-year-old. And I was like, didn't sign up for this. I'm not game. But I was like, whatever, we're going to stay. Because we had a whole big party planned for donors the next day too, who donated to our Kickstart at their house in their big backyard, right? So I
Yes,
was
you're
we
like, I
have
feel
no
like we-
choice. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it turns out these were some Bible thumping folks, and we're eating dinner, and it's me and Drew, the person who filmed it all, and we're sitting there, and she goes, so can I ask y'all a question? And we were in Texas, and we were like, sure, yeah. She goes, so did y'all have Jesus in your life growing up when you were kids? And I was like, oh my God, is it happening? Oh my God, is this happening? And we were like, and then later, the dinner the next day, Drew said, and I love Drew so much, he said, he was talking about somebody and talking about how they were in charge of a job he was on or something. He goes, well, she was the HBC, and Drew's my friend, right? And everybody goes, HBC? And I was like, oh God. And he was like, head bitch in charge. And right when he said it, he was like, oh no, wrong table. And a guy goes, I think you mean head lady in charge. And he was
Oh
like,
my God.
sure, totally what I mean. That's exactly right. Not staying at anyone's house anymore, I'm telling you.
Woman in charge.
Head woman.
Head woman. Oh my God, that's so funny.
Okay.
Did y'all have Jesus in your life as children?
Oh, is this happening? This is happening.
Yeah.
That's actually why we brought you here today, Dustin.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be the first time.
We've lured you in with our awesome podcast, and now
Yes.
it only goes out to you. Actually, that's the reason we
Now
made
we
this
want to
whole
know if you've accepted Lord Jesus Christ as your Savior. Have you?
You couldn't even remember what those words were supposed to be. I saw
I
you
know.
work
How do
really
you
hard
say
to
it?
get that out.
I
think
know.
that's
I don't
right.
even know. Is that
Have
right?
you accepted the Lord Jesus Christ as
No.
your
Have
Have
Savior?
you?
No.
Have
I
you
grew up-
accepted Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior?
Oh, there
That's it. I grew up in like Catholic, but it was like New York Italian Catholic, where it's like, yeah, you say sorry if you do something bad. Tell him you're sorry. Okay.
So this one says, I contract out chefs for my business and help serve at the parties. I was working at a party when my client's 10-year-old son came up to me. He told me that Tommy, the chef, was his, quote, his favorite Tommy that works for him over his driver Tommy and his pilot Tommy. I tried to explain to him that Tommy works for his parents and not for him, but it didn't matter. That kid is ruined.
That kid is ruined.
That kid, yes.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, can you imagine just like looking at a 10-year-old kid and being like, oh, I'm
Also,
sorry,
I don't
buddy.
think I've known that many Tommies in my life. That's a lot of Tommies in one setting.
So many Tommies.
Come on, Tommy boys.
Maybe he just has so many employees that it's like,
Uh,
you're going to have 3 Tommies.
Maybe he names them
somewhere.
all Tommy. Tommy 1, Tommy 2, Tommy 3.
He's
for
like
his
George
benefit.
Foreman.
Yeah. Mhm.
I had way too many Toms and Tommies in my life. My brother, my dad, my ex-father-in-law that recently passed away, sadly, Tom, and then my brother-in-law, ex-brother-in-law was named Tom. My uncle's named Tom.
Yeah.
It's just way too many Toms. I could never date a Tom.
Yeah.
You'd get confused.
I would.
Could lead to some accidents in sexting as well. If you're dating a Tom, you could message the wrong Tom, something very
Yeah.
scandalous. I may have messaged a David once, something
Did
that was
you?
meant for my husband. Yeah, and I was like, oh God, so sorry. And I
And then
worked
when
with
you-
the person at the time.
Oh, really?
But he was kind of like an aloof sort of dude, so he was kind of like, oh yeah, man, I didn't do it, whatever, it's cool. And I was like, thank God it was this guy, because anyone else would have been like, I'm sorry, what now? Do I need to report you to HR?
I accidentally texted my boyfriend's name is Jim Campbell, and I have a very good old friend named Jim Coleman. And I haven't spoken to Jim Coleman in a long time, and he's married with kids now. And I sent him like a random text message like months ago that was like, can't wait to see you tonight. We're gonna have so much fun. It was like smoochy face emoji, and he was like, what?
Did he message back?
Yes, and I think I caught it before he did, and I was like, "Oh my god, sorry, my
Oh,
boyfriend's
that's
Ship."
hysterical.
I know.
I put David's middle initial in now so that I see David middle initial, and then I'm like, oh, that's it.
Smart.
Yeah.
How funny.
So my husband's name is Ben, and Jen, you might know who this is. Do you know the comedian Owen Benjamin?
No.
He was kind of like a popular comedian. He was like one of the Nick Swartzen guys. And then he got like super duper conservative and kind of went off the deep end. And so now he's just like a right wing nut job. But I worked with him once, and so his number's in my phone. And so it comes up as Owen Ben. So if I put Ben in, it's like he's the first one. And then so I have like several times accidentally texted him. And I'm like,
really?
I gotta take this out of my phone because I don't want anybody to see that I've ever been in contact with this person because he is like a horrible human being.
Oh God.
Yeah.
So did you ever accidentally text him something like racy or?
No, I mean, but I've never accidentally texted my husband.
I texted a contractor. I was having too many conversations at once, and I texted a contractor that I work with professionally. I think we already did that murder. But I was talking to Sally about the podcast.
And
he was like, what?
So
and I'm like, no. And like, how do I explain to this guy that like, no, I'm actually also like a professional idiot, stand-up comedian who does a podcast about murder.
That's
like,
when you keep going.
How do you just walk away from that? I can't remember what I said, but I remember like being like, oh, I'm sorry, that was meant for somebody else. Long story, inside joke.
Oh my gosh. You keep going and you're like, you heard me. I'll meet you at midnight.
Yeah.
And you know where.
I've got a better murder for us. Yeah.
And bring a better shovel this time.
You're in this now.
Yep. No turning back.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just do a couple more.
Okay.
Okay, this one says, I had met with a family that was interested in my becoming their family chef. We'd had a great meeting and I thought it was going really well. Then they had me go back to the kitchen where I saw a loft bed and a toilet with a screen curtain to cover one of the spaces in the corner. They told me, oh yes, just so you know, one of our kids decided that our old pantry was going to be his new room now. So you probably see him a lot in here when you're working. I didn't know what was more appalling, that they were okay with their kid living in their pantry space or that there was a toilet in the corner.
Ew.
I don't even know whatever they'd said after that because I was too busy hearing the alarm screeching in my head. Needless to say, I left in a flash.
Good for
my
them.
God. Good. Yeah, get out of there.
Getting out. You got to listen to those alarms. You got to.
Oh,
I had an interview here in Atlanta, actually, for a very a big tiny person. Tiny person. I spoke to their husband on the phone. They said, we just want delicious vegan food. I said, so no other parameters, gluten-free, anything else. And he's like, no, we just want delicious vegan food. I said, well, I really would like to come meet with your wife as well, just to make sure I have a full understanding of everyone's needs. I sit down in this meeting. I took cupcakes, I took kale chips, and I took something else. And immediately she was like, is there gluten in that? And I was like, yeah. And she goes, oh, well, none of us eat gluten. And I was like, oh, I can take them back. She goes, no, I'll give them to the staff. They'll eat them. And I was like, okay. And then she goes, well, so in this, I had brought something with like a cheese sauce with it. She's like, is there garlic in this? And I was like, she goes, oh, I don't eat garlic. And I was like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then something else, she didn't eat grains. She didn't eat like so many things where he was just like, we just want delicious vegan food. And I was like, red flag, red flag, red flag.
Yeah.
I can't do this. Like, it's not sustainable, you know?
Well, and also that just, it's like, you know that you're just going to be gaslit into being like, oh, no, we're fine with anything. We're so easygoing. We're just like the coolest. And then just like, but why didn't you do this? Why didn't you know not to like put this in our food? Yeah.
Yeah.
Whew. Yeah. So did you work for them?
No, I did not. I did not. Actually, the current job I'm in right now came through as I was going to go do like a trial dinner for them because I was like, I need a job right now. So I kind of don't. And like, I can pull it off, but I don't want to.
Right.
And I think, Jen, I told you about the last clients I had here.
I know.
They said, one of the things they said where I was like, this is going to end soon. They were like, we love Asian food. We just love it. We just don't like garlic or ginger or soy sauce or tamari. And I was like, do you just want steamed bok choy? Like, what are we going for here then? Like, what's it was just insanity. It was insane. I just want Asian air, essentially.
Right. We just want to be known as people who say they like Asian food.
Yeah.
We just want people to think we're racist.
Yep.
So, okay. This is the last one. I was hired by a couple to cook dinner for them and 25 of their guests. They told me I could let myself in to set up for the 6:30 party. When I arrived in the afternoon and no one was there, okay, I thought. Hours passed by and it was almost 6. My clients still weren't home. Guests started arriving. I served them cocktails and dinner. Finally, by dessert, my clients, the hosts, showed up. They had completely forgotten about their dinner party.
Oh my God.
You imagine having a dinner party for 25 people and not
totally forgetting. Oh my God. That's
I don't
wild.
know about y'all, but that's just like, so there's this other side of this, right? Where when you have so much money, sort of like the importance of things, like your priorities and the importance you put on things like shift. Because I would like to say for all three of us, if we were to spend the money that it takes to feed 25 people and have a private, we're not forgetting. We're going either to let the chef in. We're going to be cleaning the house on our own. Like, I was like, how do you forget you're having 25 people?
Oh, right. 25 people over. Yeah.
You're all here. Oh, I thought I saw something on my calendar.
And then nobody like texted them and was like, hey, did you remember? I can't wait for your dinner party. Or like, hey, we're here and you're not here. Is everything okay?
That had to have just been like all super rich people that are just like,
whatever.
Yeah,
that
I guess I have a
energy.
thing. I have a thing tonight.
A thing. Sorry.
You know what? I think we should see. I think here's what. Let's do an experiment. Let's all three get like super fuck you rich. And then let's see if we change.
I love this experiment.
Let's do an experiment.
I'll change. Totally. I'll be very different.
What are you going to be like? Cooler?
Yeah. I'm going to be
richer,
way more laid back and cool. I'm fatter, for sure.
Oh, yeah. So...
I mean, listen, here's one of the things that David and I have talked about this a lot.
Because I'll have access to all the, like, you know, Ozempics and stuff. I'm kidding. I won't do that.
Oh my goodness. David and I have talked about these people. Can you start? I'm going to pay you all this money, please.
Can you just starve me? Thank you.
We've talked about people because I've had these jobs where people have so much money. I had a great client in New York for a long time and he's got a lot, but he was so great, right? So I've met people on the side of it where there's these awesome down to earth people, and then these other people, their reality is just totally gone into another place where you're like, there's nothing I can even do to relate here. Like I do, and I just we're like, we don't want to be like, I'm too scared of what could potentially happen. Like to me, if I had, I mean, I don't want to put it out there. I want to have money. Please give me money. I want wealth. I'm fine with that. But like, I don't know about having that sort of money where you can just like you can sneeze money essentially. And you're like, whatever, it's cool. There's 25 people here. It's fine.
You know, I wonder if we would really change because we grew up a certain way. I think it's the people that grew up always having money and that they don't know anything outside of that. Like
I was gonna say, and they only know other people with money. They like it seems normal. That's normal
world. Yeah, I think it's because we've been poor and we've struggled and we've worked in restaurants and had non-glamorous jobs and whatever. I think that like we understand the value of a dollar. That's what I would say.
That's right.
Yeah.
There you go, Mom.
I like that.
Yeah.
Very good.
All right. Well, should we get to our top 5?
Yes, let's do it.
This week it is a list of fury.
Lists of fury. Yes.
This idea was brought to us by Dustin. Dustin
You're
came
welcome.
up with it.
I'm
I think
writing your
it's
show
so
notes.
smart. And all 3 of us are going to present our top 5s. And Dustin, would you like to tell everybody what the subject is?
Yes. So this is your top 5 most annoying food trends.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear what yours are because you hate everything. And these are going to be so good. The fact that you could only pick 5 things that you hate so much.
Did I tell you what my sister said recently?
gotta know.
That she asked me how I like something. I said, oh, well, I didn't really care for XYZ. And she goes, shocker, what do you like? And I was like, great, you and Jen should have a conversation. But also, you're not wrong, and I don't feel bad about it.
No, you like what you like. And I
was
love
going to
that
say that
about
only
you.
means when I really like something, I really like it.
I know, I love that. I
That's
truly
right.
do. Mhm.
When you really like something, you stan it. You
I
Yeah.
stan it.
stan it
That's
all the
why-
way
Gosh darn it.
home.
That's how I know you really do love our podcast. Because
Truth.
you would tell us if you hated it.
Truth.
Okay. Do we want Dustin as our guest? Would you like to go first?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, been waiting for this whole moment. So I'm gonna pull a Sally card here from the rom-com episode of the
Okay,
rom-com list. Mainly, I'm doing it to piss Jen off because she boldly said this is such a bullshit move, and I actually agree with Jen, but I'm gonna do it anyways. And
Sometimes you have to.
to be clear, I went back and listened. Sally, you listed 12 movies that
Mhm.
came in a tie. I want to define what a tie is here. I don't know if 12 things can make a tie, but let's see how many I can come up with. So for my number 5, I've got acai bowls or acai anything. The Bear, the TV show, bone broth, pink sauce.
I want to
Oh
flip
wow!
That's
Oh,
good.
wow.
Are you serious? The bear?
Dead serious. Bone
my God,
broth,
I hate you so
pink
much.
sauce, matcha lattes or matcha anything, mason jar salads, Keurig coffee makers, charcoal infused anything, savory foam as a culinary innovation. I'm not into that at all. And a multi-kitchen tool. Listen, multi-kitchen tools and appliances. Stay in your own lane. Do one job and do it well. That's it. That's 5.
I
Wow.
stand up.
That's
I
the
applaud
most
that.
Dustin, number 5 in a top 5 list that I could actually. I mean, it makes sense, and I should.
think I
should
agree
have
with-
expected this.
I
I
agree
learned
with
it
most
from
of
listening to
those.
Sally.
I agree with a lot of those, but I do not agree with the bear.
Listen, I didn't give it much of a chance.
Did you watch it?
Yeah, I watched it. I watched an episode. I think that it's triggering for me, and I
Yeah.
just and
Okay.
I could go back to it. I'll try it again. I think what the trend to me is like the hype over it, right? Like I'm just
Right.
somewhat
Yeah.
like I just heard someone is doing like the bear pop up, and I'm just like, does that need to be a thing? Do you guys feel good
Yeah.
about that? Do you want that?
I do.
I don't
Well,
care.
there you go. Then I guess
give
it's
it
great.
to me.
Listen, I
I've
gave you
also
like
not
8
watched The
other
Bear.
options in there.
I love the multi-use or multifunctional appliances because they only ever serve as one.
Well, and
Like-
whatever the multi-function it has, you're right. One works best, and the other ones are kind of like, oh yeah, and it air fries. Like my oven
Right.
is supposed to air fry, and it's like I'm like, you're just baking still. Like that's what
Yeah,
you're doing.
I know.
You're baking with a fan on.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Who wants to go next?
Okay, I'll go next. My number 5 is butterboards. I think that is gross. I think they're gross, and I don't think everything needs to be a board. I
It's the
don't.
dumbest thing I've ever heard of.
It's so
butterboards.
dumb. It's so
it
dumb.
makes me angry.
It makes me so angry because it's always these like skinny ladies, and I'm like, fuck
Oh.
you. You're not eating butter and bread.
Yeah, you're not taking that
Bitches.
bread and swiping it along the board with and having a big goop of butter on a big piece of baguette. Like, get over it. You're having no, I'm not here for it. Butterboards truly annoy me. You've triggered me now. So much so, I did a soup board. So like, I did a soup board, reel last Halloween where I put soup all over the board. I was like, now I'm gonna make a soup board, and I lifted up like they do the boards, and the soup fell everywhere. We had to put a tarp down in the kitchen and everything. Can't stand
Love it.
butterboards.
Butterboards. Disgusting. And you love them, Jen.
I mean, I like butter. I'd be interested in trying different kinds of butter.
I love butter. Well, but
I mean, I
haven't
don't
s-
love
It's
it,
not.
but I'm
It's
just
not like
saying,
different kinds of butter. It's. Have you
what
seen them?
butter?
It's like people put like it's like a slab or like a plate with butter all over it, and then they
Uh-huh.
put different like things, and then you smear your bread
Also-
through the butter. Gross.
So everyone, let's say
Oh
you
no,
put
I
that
wouldn't
out at
want
a
to.
party.
I wouldn't want to share a smear like that.
That's
Yeah,
what
I
I'm
was
saying.
picturing like a board of different kinds of butters.
No, it's
Okay.
not
That'd
like
be
a
like
sampler.
a cute moment. But
Well,
like, just like you're
okay.
saying, when you're like at a communal function where everyone's smearing their fingertips through that's nasty.
Yeah, I don't want
Yeah.
a grazing table either. I think that's the same.
Okay. Well, my number 5 most annoying food trend, hard seltzer. I want to like it because they're gluten-free, and a lot of times like I need like a gluten-free canned option, but I have not found a hard seltzer that doesn't taste like chemicals and weird
Agreed.
aftertaste. There's not a single one.
Yeah, I agree. I think we bought like I think maybe Max's birthday party when he turned like 4. We bought a case or like 6-pack of Truly.
Did he
And
like
we-
it?
Max?
I'm joking.
No, he said the same thing. He said it tasted really medicinal.
Yeah.
And then he
It
fell
does
over.
taste
It was crazy.
medicinal. That's a
so
great
wild.
word.
Wild.
But we could not get rid of it. We like started taking it over. Like we took it over to like our friends Jeff and April's just to be like, hey, we brought this with us.
I would like
Nobody
to
would drink it.
invite every listener to look in their refrigerator and see if there is a black cherry White Claw somewhere at the bottom of a drawer.
That Sally brought over.
There is. And it's because it's disgusting and somebody left it from a party and nobody wants to drink it.
You are so right.
Nobody
This
wants
is like, because also the other thing I've seen is that, let's say it's a seltzer like Topo Chico that's been around forever.
Mhm.
Suddenly they have a hard seltzer line of it too. And
Everybody
I'm like, we didn't
does.
need to hop on. Everyone, like Topo Chico, you're great by yourself. I don't, if
Yeah.
if someone wants to put booze in it, put some booze in it.
Exactly.
You don't need I'm with
I
you.
know.
I feel you.
Mhm. Okay. What's your number 4?
Number 4, standing in line. Standing in line for food. I hate it. Can't stand it. If there's a line, that doesn't make me think, oh my gosh, they're serving the best, most amazing thing. I
Yeah.
don't believe that at all. I'm thinking y'all are suckers, y'all are fools, and you're standing in line for something that's probably overpriced and being made very sloppily right now.
Yes. Oh,
True.
that is, I 100% with that. That's why I will never go to that one taco place that's on Ponce that like people stand in line for. Like, do you know what I'm talking about? The taco place?
On
No.
Ponce?
Yeah, on Ponce. It's like in downtown
Oh,
Decatur.
in downtown Decatur, Taqueria del
Yeah.
Sol. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't know,
No.
but I'm not going.
There's
I don't
plenty
know
of
what
other
it's called, and I will
places.
not go. That was all the time in New York, like all the time. There was
All
a brunch
the
place by
time.
us that was like it was fun. It was kitschy. The food was fine, but for some reason it got written up in something, and these like hipsters would come in from the city or from Brooklyn and like
Ugh.
stand in line for hours for this place, and you could go like 2 places down, and it was like better food, no line.
Yeah.
What a waste of your time. Like,
Back in the day when Gato Bisco still existed, rest in peace, beautiful breakfast place in Candler Park. There was Flying Biscuit right across the street,
Yeah.
and Gato Bisco was so much better than
Yeah, it
Flying
was
Biscuit,
delicious.
which is like a chain now. But there would be a line down the street for Flying Biscuit, and nobody would be at Gato. And it's like, you guys are like, they had the big ass cat head biscuits. They were so good. And the little Flying Biscuit ones are like little hockey pucks, and they're not good.
fun true story. I worked at Flying Biscuit way back in the day, in like
You did?
2002 it must have been. That
What?
location that you mentioned as well.
And Candler Park?
Were you there when there was an Australian guy that worked at the door, and he
No,
took
but one
everybody's
day I
name?
gave away free coffee to everyone in line when it was like my second day there, and they were like, give them coffee, they want it, make them happy. And then I was like, here, and they were like, so you charge them? And I was like, I just thought, what do you mean charge them? Like, I thought it was like a standing in line,
Yeah.
happiness, joy.
I like
for
your
standing in line,
idea
'cause
better.
You all are idiots standing in line. We'll give you coffee.
So agree. So agree.
Okay.
Okay,
Who's
my number
next?
4 is bacon in and on everything. I like bacon. I eat bacon. I don't need it. Why is it in everything? Why is it on everything? It takes over the taste. I don't need every burger with the bacon. Stop with the bacon.
Okay.
I feel, Jen, why am I not surprised that you have not received, like Dustin's over here cheering me on, and you
I am.
are.
Dustin's
I feel
vegan.
like I'm
He's
like,
not gonna like your bacon thing.
I
I feel like I'm.
There's vegan bacon.
I don't
mean,
want vegan bacon either. I feel
I
like you're
understand.
like actively disliking the things I'm saying.
No, I'm taking it in what you're saying. You educated me on butter boards. Now I know. And bacon, yeah, it does. It's. I think it's overdone for sure. But
It's overdone.
Do I like it?
Yeah, I like bacon.
Okay.
I also like bacon. I
It's
also
just
like
you
Just
butter.
want to
I
have
get-
you want to have bacon on the side. You want to have a piece of bacon.
Every
will-
once in a while, I
You're
don't
not
need
trying
it
to
in
have
everything.
a bacon scone. You're not trying to have all that type of
Yes.
thing.
No,
Yeah.
thank
So
you.
my number 4 is pickleback shots. I love pickles, but
whiskey
pickleback
and the-
shots. People that take shots of pickle juice.
No,
with
After
whiskey,
they're-
right?
Or I don't know
Or
what they
anything.
do,
I
but
think
it
I've
looks
had a vodka.
disgusting to me. Okay,
It's gross. I agree.
so
Overrated.
I'm just saying, there's like some of these things.
Jen,
are
so far
nuanced.
yours are all booze related. How's it going over there, Tootsie Lou?
Oh, it'll stop being. Okay, you go next.
Me?
Yeah.
We're number 3,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, 3.
Okay. It's not really a twofer, but it could lean into, but I'll say the real one. Low calorie ice cream.
Oh, like Halo
that's
Top?
Yeah, just fuck off
offensive.
with that shit. I'm not
Yeah.
interested. We swear on here, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry, I just got real into it at the end. I got real angry about it. Yeah, I'm not interested. I have had the Halo Top, and like I don't hate it, but also I'm just like, if you're gonna have ice cream, treat yourself to some ice. Love yourself enough
Yeah.
to have
It's
some ice
like-
cream.
Air. I mean, that's how it's low calorie is that it's just whipped air.
And icy. It's like icy.
Yeah.
It's like, But also this goes along with, I also don't like the trend of bad vegan ice cream, because there are some amazing, delicious, outstanding vegan ice cream out there. And if
There
someone
really
has
is.
bad vegan ice cream, suddenly they're like, oh, well, it's vegan ice cream. It's terrible. And I'm like, no, you just had the wrong one.
Yeah.
Because there's almost all of them are actually delicious. It's milk and sugar. Like it's vegan milk and sugar. Like it's great.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
really the topic is low cal ice creams.
Okay. Okay. That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, that's a good one. Okay,
what's yours?
my number 3 is Kraft ketchup.
Oh,
Fuck off.
like
when
fancy
places like
ketchup.
make their
I
own
thought you meant like
ketchup.
Kraft the company. Okay.
No,
No.
like
yes.
I like bespoke ketchup.
I totally agree with that. See? We do
Thank
agree on things. I
Bespoke
totally agree.
ketchup.
I want ketchup at a restaurant. I want it to be Heinz.
Give
It
me a
better be
Heinz.
Heinz.
Give
I-
me a Heinz.
Yeah, something
Yeah.
like that.
Wait, are you
Yeah,
guys
I-
mad at the
none of
Hunts?
that
Because
fancy
are
shit.
you
No,
you
I'll
only
take a
like
Heinz.
Heinz?
No, I'll take a
I'll take a
Heinz. I'll
Heinz.
take a
Okay.
Heinz.
Yeah.
David's a dedicated Heinz guy.
I'm pretty
and
dedicated Heinz, but I will take a Heinz. But that's it. Like
I'm
don't give me
also-
organic shit. Like
I
Yeah,
know.
but
I don't want
come
my
on.
ketchup to taste like a tomato. I want it to taste like sugar.
I want
like
it to taste like
sugar and
sugar
salt.
on a tomato. I want
Yeah.
there to be a hint of a tomato and
Right.
lots of sugar.
Right.
Also, this thing of they make the ketchup in house. You're like, why are you spending time doing that?
I know. Nobody
you know
wants
this comes
it.
in a bottle, right? Because I know you still put sugar in it here.
I know.
and then they bring it out in those little teeny cups, and you have to ask for it every time, and you're just like, just bring me ketchup.
No, babe.
I
I
know.
want the ketchup.
Agreed.
Agreed. Okay. Oh, am I next? My number 3, crazy spicy food, like the kind of burn your mouth off food. I don't understand it. I want to like it because everybody else does so much, but I don't understand it. And I don't
So you're
know
not
why.
having any ghost pepper chips or anything? Not your journey?
No, I don't. No, I don't want to burn my face off
I get
and
that.
cry when I eat.
Sweat?
I
Sweat.
just, I don't want to
Who
sweat,
wants to
cry.
sweat when they're
Who
eating?
wants to sweat?
I don't-
Who
I
wants,
don't
and then not be able to
understand
touch
it.
anything else, like or
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
taste anything else your
Yep.
whole meal.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
That's a good one. That is, I actually, as I've gotten older, strangely, if I have raw jalapeno, I get the hiccups like almost immediately. It's
Yeah, I
very
can
upsetting
too, raw
because I love
jalapeno.
spicy food, and I not spicy like ghost spicy like you're saying.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
agree with you because that's not really flavor. That's just heat, right?
Yeah.
But like a little like hot sauce in my chili or something, that's
Mhm.
delicious. But like if I go too far, jalapeno wise, it's not a pretty picture.
Yeah, we've
Ugh.
gotten really into that show Hot Ones around here. You guys
Is that
watch that?
the
ever?
wings
Yeah.
where they
It's
eat
the wings. Yeah, that might be
uh-huh,
upsetting
yeah.
to you as a vegan.
No, they've
but
had vegan wings on
they
there
have had
too, I
vegan.
think.
Yes,
Yeah, uh-huh.
I think Margot Robbie was a vegan wing.
Yeah, they're inclusive.
Ah.
Yeah, but it's very hot. It's very funny. I think it's very funny how
Sweaty,
people's
right?
body
Like,
reacts. Yes.
I don't want to be eating and start sweating. Like that's just not my journey.
No. When people are like about to throw up, I'm like, yeah, that's too far. All right, what's your number 2?
Number 2, and maybe you can relate, maybe not, but an upcharge for plant-based milk, for non-dairy milk, charging me 75 cents when I know
Yeah.
that carton in retail maybe cost you $3.99. So by
Right.
the time you get done putting 2 tablespoons in 4 cups of coffee, you've paid for that. You're making like however many dollars on 1 carton of milk from us suckers out there who just want some freaking like soy milk in our coffee.
Yeah,
not
it's
right.
bullshit.
And
I
it doesn't
agree.
cost as much to make that non-dairy milk. That's a whole thing. But you know what I'm saying? Well, come on now.
Yeah.
Except for macadamia nut milk. Upcharge for that shit because that's ridiculous. People don't even have the macadamia nut milk. That's just dumb.
Yeah, I like oat milk in my coffee. Like if I go out and get coffee, I like an oat milk latte. And yesterday got an oat milk latte and they upcharged $2
That's crazy.
on top of an already like $5 drink. And I was just like, what?
Oh my
So
god.
next time, I want you to buy a $4 gallon of oat milk and take in your bag with you. And when they're like, do you want any milk? You can be like, oh, just bam. Can you just pour that in there for me, please? If you want a tip, you'll just pour that oat milk in there.
Just pour my oat milk. Ugh. Yeah.
Oh god.
Okay, that was your
You're
number 2.
next.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
what's
my
your
number 2 is, I don't know exactly how to describe this, but I wrote it as like the broification of restaurants or food, where it's like everything is like a punny name, and they're like, have the slap your mama and fuck your sister burger, you know? And it's just like a fancy restaurant, like it's really expensive, but they're like, you know, trying to be so fucking cool. Like I
don't like, and I hate to say this because we perform a lot. It's not the skull. It's the
the vortex.
The vortex is attached to the skull, but the vortex is like I think they've toned it down, but way back in the day, it used to be like, don't even think about ordering off the menu, or you could go fuck yourself. Like, don't ask any questions. And if you like, it was just like, there's all these, like, no, there's no substitution, you idiot. Like the menu is so like
we're in your fucking
unnecessarily like harsh and brazen, and it was just like, oh my god, I just want a fucking burger, man. Stop yelling at me.
That makes me think, when you say that makes me think of that place Dick's, where they're rude to you on purpose.
Dick's Last Resort.
My mom loved it, and I was like,
my mom did too.
I was like, I'm not interested in paying someone to be rude to me. Like, I have enough insecurities as it is.
My number 2, and Dustin, I think you might agree with me on this, is turducken.
Is that where the turkey's and the duck?
Yeah, it's like turkey, duck, and chicken. Like, just why do you got to do all that?
Pick one or make them separately. What are you doing?
That just sounds like a recipe for a really dry uckin. Like whatever the two are that they're in the middle. Or maybe all 3 of them.
That's like a pie and a cake too. That's a thing. People put pie and cake.
I don't want that.
A pie inside a cake. No, I just want my slice of pie, or I want a slice of cake.
Yeah, I don't need every or like a cronut or any of that shit. I don't know.
No,
I've never had one, but I don't think that's
something that people stood in line for. Cronut.
Yeah, cronuts.
No.
That's what, a croissant and a donut.
Mhm.
I would have ate a cronut. If somebody gave me a cronut, I would have ate it.
Sure,
But I'm not going to
gonna
wait in line for it.
Not
yeah.
gonna stand in line for it. Not gonna do it.
You know where else has good donuts? It's like Dunkin' Donuts.
I mean, hey, and there's not really a line. If there is, it usually moves fast.
It moves
depending
quick. They're
on,
efficient.
Yeah,
Mhm.
efficient. They got it down.
Yeah.
So
now
are we at
we're
number one?
on number one.
All right, so here's the thing. We already said it, but it bears repeating. It was my number one, and I think it was Sally's number 5. But butterboards.
Yeah.
Butterboards is my number one. I really loathe them. I can't stand them. That trend annoyed me so much.
I knew you were going to say butterboards because when I said, what do you want to talk about? Like top 5. And he's like, fucking food trends. I hate butterboards so much. I was like, okay.
Well, and then they branched into like people were doing hummus boards and cream cheese boards. And I'm like, just put it in a ramekin like everybody else with maybe a mini spatula so we're not all putting our fingertips on it when we do it.
So these boards are not to sample different kinds of one. It's just like a big spread of a thing and you just dip it in
Big
it.
spread of it. They'll like fan it out on the board and then they'll put different stuff like bread and
No.
fruit and veggies and all that. But then the idea is you like push the bread along to like pick up the butter.
No, thank you.
Exactly.
But
Look
I
it up
would-
when we're done.
Again,
You'll
I
see.
would like a sampler of a hummus board of samples.
But now
I
you
think that's just
want-
like a
ramekins.
trio.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say, yeah, you want it to be in ramekins.
Right.
Yeah,
right,
that's
right.
not a
Yep.
hummus board. That's,
Maybe with a
Okay.
dainty little spoon to dollop with, you know?
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
So that's my number one. Number one with a bullet, as my dear friend Sally says.
So my number one is the flip side of the broification of food, and that is the snobification of food and like restaurants where it is so like, you know, it's like so much like the visuals and the names that nobody understands what these ingredients are. And it's like feels so inaccessible to the normal person. And it's all about like status and bullshit. And I just hate that so
Right.
much.
Yeah.
Not that I don't like a nice dinner out or like a nice restaurant, but it's like, do we have to be so pretentious?
How do you
Right.
feel about those tiny little portions that show up too? And you're like, am I supposed to feel satisfied after this? What's the purpose of this right now? This meal that's happening right now.
Yes,
I came to
I don't.
eat.
I don't like any of it. I just
Heard.
want like good food, done well, served to me by nice people.
Yeah,
Right.
That's all I
agreed.
want.
know. I struggle.
And I want my
struggle with-
water to be refilled. That's all.
Right.
That's all I want.
I struggle with that because like I, love food and I love trying especially with all the Michelin ratings for Atlanta coming out, I want to try it. I want to try it all. But a lot of these restaurants are these like 300 per person meal. And it might be like the smallest, like it's a chef's
Yeah.
tasting and like it might knock your socks off and be totally worth it. Or you leave there being like, fuck, I just spent like, out with, and then if you add alcohol to it, like $500 and I didn't love it.
Yeah.
Like there's one restaurant, I don't want to I'm sure that they're wonderful. There's one restaurant on the Michelin rating. They've been around for a long time. And Zach and I were so excited to eat there. We made it our Christmas present to each other to eat at
Mhm.
this restaurant. We spent an absurd amount of money to where I wanted to vomit after the meal because I was like, I cannot believe we just spent that much money.
Yeah.
And we left feeling like it was okay. And
Oof.
and it's like to know that you could have spent a quarter of that and gone all out at
Yeah.
a wonderful restaurant. And so it's like, does it really need to be that? I don't know.
I don't even
No.
know. Like, I don't even know that it's not even like the money that I'm offended by. It's the attitude around
Right,
it, around the
right.
food and acting like, oh, this is like, you couldn't even get it. Like you're dumb
Right.
for coming here. You're lucky you're here. And just trying to make it so like making food so inaccessible to the everyday person
Right.
is just feels
Well, but that is such a trend, like you're saying, though, because then
Yeah.
people get into it. So have
Oh,
you seen
right.
have you both seen the menu?
Yeah.
The
No.
movie, the menu?
Oh no, I haven't seen the menu.
Yes, I have. And it's really funny.
Its take on this was so good. I highly recommend. But like, it's that exact thing, and you're just like, for them to like, I loved having a movie about it, and the way they did it, it was so good.
It's
so
great. Good. Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah.
Okay, my number most
With a bullet?
annoying food trend is pate. I think pate is gross and I think it's disgusting. And when I think about and I've tried it because it's something I feel like I should like, but I don't.
Mhm.
And then but I remember a long time ago, Zach and I were out to eat, and this there were two guys like meeting for like a business meeting or something, and they were sitting right next to us. And one of them was like, bro, do you like pate? And the other guy was like, bro, I fucking love pate. I was like, bro, I love that you love pate. And they like high-fived and they rode out over pate. And I just like, that whole scene was so funny to us. And like, it became a thing where we couldn't say the word pate with being like, dude, I fucking love that you love pate, bro.
Oh my
Stick
God.
my dick in this pate. And like, it was just it was the funniest thing I had ever seen. And now, like, I don't know, pate will always be funny to me.
I want a
Broy.
t-shirt now that says, bro, I love pate.
Bro, I love that you love pate.
Oh, that's even better. Yeah, bro, I love that you love pate.
How about Dustin? You get an I love pate, bro. I love pate, and David can get up. I love that you love pate.
Absolutely. There was a chef I was talking to once, and they said something, and then I served walnut pate, and I was like, why? Like, I felt the same, Jen.
It's like, it's just like some crushed up nuts, I guess.
Just pate. Why are you pateing things?
I don't know. I'm not.
But
I don't think I'm for it.
I would love to say that I love pate, just because it's so cool, I guess.
Maybe if you turn it into
don't.
Pate board.
Maybe. That would be even more disgusting.
And I'll just come over and just right
stick
through
your
it.
fingers in
Wipe
it.
that. Yep. Lick the board. Why not?
Well, man,
this
you
has
guys.
been such a delight. Dustin,
Yes.
thank you so much for being on the podcast. Your very first guest. All of our new podcasts, you'll be our very first guest. When Jen and I are 80 and we're still doing some podcast, hoping it's going to hit.
What if I'm a curse? What if I'm a curse and you wrap it up in a few episodes after this? Bum, bum,
shit.
bum.
Don't say that.
You're not gonna. I'm manifesting. Can I return? I'm inviting myself, please.
Yeah.
Of course you can return. Of course.
I was like, oh my God, silence.
Anytime.
No, it was like shock silence. Like, yeah, obviously.
Of course.
This podcast will run forever. It will be hugely successful. It is wonderful, fantastic. You make me laugh every week, and I'm so grateful for it. Thank you.
Aw, thank you.
Thank you. And
love
you guys,
to hear it.
Yeah, thank you so much. Please go check out Dustin. You can subscribe to his podcast, Keep on Cooking, and check out his two cookbooks, Epic Vegan and Epic Vegan Nice and Easy.
Epic Vegan, quick and easy. And then
Quick
a third,
and
I got
easy shit.
Simply Vegan too. And I got a fourth one coming out, y'all, in the spring called Power Foods.
Awesome.
Yes.
I'm very excited for that. And then where can people find you on the interwebs?
Yes, please. So on the interweb, my website is dustinharder.com, and on Instagram, I'm at the Dustin Harder.
Easy
Breezy.
Easy enough.
So you can find us on Instagram at The Ridiculous Pod. You can find us on TikTok at The Ridiculous Podcast. You can email us at theridiculouspodcast@gmail.com. Rate and review. Tell a friend. We would love that.
Yes, we would absolutely love that. We love you guys so much. Dustin, thank you for being here.
Thank
Pleasure
you.
as always.
Mwah.
I look forward to you, to your texts and your TikToks and your Instagrams and your Marco Polos.
Bombarding you with all of the DMs,
I
giving you
love
all
it.
of my top fives with every episode. You're welcome.
Love it. And I would like to invite all of our listeners to continue to do the same because we love hearing from you guys.
Yes, we really do.
Thank you guys so much. And we'll see you next week on The Ridiculous.
Ridiculous, ridiculous, ridic. You. Hey.